We back. Oh, hold on. Shit. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Lowe's Def, and if you're just joining the platform, just tuning in, if you could, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. But yeah, today you see I'm here again solo. Man, busy weeks sometimes lead to busy weekends, and then it leads me to kind of scrambling. And we got to get an episode out, man. We got to put the content out. We're not taking no weeks off that we don't need to take weeks off. You know what I mean? I don't know if I probably mentioned it prior or the week before or something like that. I know I talked about it in another platform, but yeah, like I had to get a new computer. My computer that I've been using for the podcast, it kind of crapped out. It didn't boot on anymore, and so I did miss a week a couple weeks ago, and so we just want to avoid that at all costs. But yeah, man, we rocking. We got some stuff to talk about, man. Some controversy, some things that happening online. We got people arguing back and forth. We're gonna talk about just certain etiquettes, man, specifically airplane etiquette today. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Dave. I don't know if y'all watch Dave. If y'all watch Dave, that's a Lil Dicky show. We're gonna talk about that, man, especially the finale. Probably the best 45 minutes of comedy that I've seen all year so far. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NBA finals. And then I do got some quick headline news type stuff. And then yeah, just kind of give you a little recap of what's going on in my life, man. We're gonna try to make this pretty succinct. I don't want to say short, I mean, but we're gonna try to keep it somewhat short, whatever, because there are some topics that I want to get into, but because we got some guests coming up. So, and that's the thing too. I never like to book a guest last minute unless it's a friend, unless it's like one of my close friends where I know that don't matter what I come at you with, we can kick it and whatever. But again, this past weekend was a jam-packed weekend of fun with my son. And just for the record, I ain't no weekend dad. Yeah, I mean, we just had extra time this past weekend. My son is with me a lot, you know what I mean? And y'all don't need to know that, but I'm just so we clear here with that. But yeah, man, so I went man, let me just tell you, man, getting old is crazy, bro. Like, and I just it's weird. Getting old is weird, man, because like I just noticed that like as I'm older, I'm a sweaty ass dude, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like so, Saturday went to Sky Zone, and I normally, I get the Groupon. You know what I mean? I don't know about y'all, but yeah. If y'all go to Sky Zone, yeah, I mean, locally in the 717, yeah, I mean, look for Sky Zone, look for Groupon, the Groupon for Sky Zone. You can get two 90-minute jump passes for $32, right? And it's like a $50 value. So, he's saving some bread. I got mad socks, you know what I mean? So save some bread with that. I even had to tell my son, because when you go certain places, I literally live right around the corner from Sky Zone. So we could go there a lot. When he was little, we used to go all the time because they used to have this thing called toddler time. And it was like $5. And like the parents didn't really have to pay. Like you had to pay for socks. That's it. And then, it would just be like little kids, whatever. If you've been to Sky Zone in the last year, last couple months, like Sky Zone is revamped, man. Like it's a whole different place. It ain't just trampolines, they got the inflatable park on one side. They got a whole now they got a whole basketball court like right there, like what I mean, that you could kind of play, like not just the little slam dunk trampoline things. They got like a whole little foam little court, that you could ball on. They need to put some nets on them joints. I don't know if the kids was ripping them down. That's why they ain't have no nets, but it ain't the same trying to play some ball without a net. Like it ain't the same. But they got the inflatable park. They got the whole Ninja Warrior setup. They got the little zip lines. They always had the little rock, the sky wall and stuff like that. But I bring that up to say is like, yo, like 90 minutes of jumping is not for me, bro. Like I can't, like, it's a workout. Like I didn't work out on Saturday, but I felt like I did because I went to Sky Zone with my son. You know what I'm saying? So like we was jumping, bro. And I didn't want to get too crazy, you know what I mean? But like when and the shirt I had on was decent, right? But I noticed that like I wouldn't even jump in the whole 90 minutes at this point, whatever. It might have been only half hour and jumping, and I'm playing tag with my son, trying to chase him. This other little boy seen that I was having so much fun with my son that he's like, "Can I play with y'all?" So I'm playing tag with this kid too. We was playing dodgeball, whatever. But like after a half hour, like the whole top half of my shirt was saturated, like sweat. Like I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." Like I had to get napkins. I had to dab myself down. I'm like, and I'm taking breaks. I'm like, son, like this is, y'all got the energy. Like y'all don't realize how much energy y'all got, you know what I mean? But y'all got it. Y'all got it, whatever. And I like, but it's just crazy because the part of getting old, like one, yeah, you sweat, you just sweat more when you're an older guy. I don't know, or I do, I guess. And then just like certain parts of your body hurt. So I play basketball about 2 times a week, and like I have like my knee gets sore, like, and I don't know, you know what I mean, just with healthcare is like hard, like it's hard to understand, like I got health insurance where it's like you got to figure it out, and then like you get bills, and I'm like I ain't paying that shit, like I ain't paying that bill, you know what I mean, like I got an HSA card, like I got all this other stuff, what I mean, I got stuff that like I'm covered, but at the same time, like I ain't, it's a process, whatever. So like just trying to find out, like, is my knee just sore because I'm old, or like do I have like ligament damage, you know what I mean, like, and that's the thing, like when you get older you start to have these pains and these aches, whatever, and you're wondering, like, is this serious? Like, when do I know it's serious? Like, are you supposed to go in like preemptively and like try to prevent some stuff? Like, is there a way to prevent stuff? Like, what I mean? How much does an MRI cost? You know what I mean? Like what am I going to be put out for if I get an MRI or something like that? Is it even that serious? Am I going to go to the doctor and they're going to be like, "Yo, bro, just relax. Like, just sit your ass down somewhere." But it's like, no, man, you got to stay active to stay young. Like you got to stay active. So yeah, man, I've been sore, you know what I mean? Sore knee, jumping around, trying to chase after these kids. Then Sunday, went to Hershey Park, you know what I mean? That's 2 weeks in a row, you know what I mean? Went on the weekends. Like I said, summertime, I get a lot more time on my hands. So I'm gonna be there during the week and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, they got a new ride at Hershey Park. Shout out to Hershey Park, man, because they tagged me. Like, so we got on the ride called Wildcat's Revenge. And Wildcat's Revenge is basically they revamped an older roller coaster. So the roller coaster was a wooden roller coaster, and I'm not against wooden roller coasters, but the Wildcat prior to this change was trash. Like when it first came out, it probably was it. I remember it being like one of the hottest rides there. And people probably liked it. I don't know if it was just wear and tear over the years, but like when you got on the Wildcat, this is what you like when you're on the Wildcat, it ain't no loops or nothing like that, whatever. All your body is doing is this. It's just like you just feel like you're just like getting whipped around, whatever, and it's like it's like all this whiplash or whatever, and you're like, yo, what the, like, this ride sucks, like it sucks. And I think obviously people have complained about that ride because they decided, last summer they actually closed it down. They was like, nah, you're not getting on this no more. Like we shutting this down for y'all. Like whatever, we about to come out with something new. So what they did was they revamped it, and what they've been calling it is like the first hybrid roller coaster, wooden and steel roller coaster. And I'm thinking, like, how the hell does that work? Well, I seen how it worked, whatever, and they basically kept obviously they made some changes to the way the track rolls and all that, whatever, but they kept the same structure as a wooden based structure. And it's like they put like a steel track on top of the wooden based structure, but like, and the way like you're strapped in there, it's no harness, whatever, but it's like it's on your lap, and like that shit locks you in. Like it wasn't locking at first, but then when I pulled it in, that joint had, like, what I mean, it had my piece like all in a vice grip, bro. Like I was like, it couldn't move. Like I couldn't wait for the ride to be over. So me, my man's could get some breathing room, but like it just, I mean, it bunched me all up. You know what I'm saying? It was uncomfortable, right? But that joint got like three or four inversions. Like you're going through these like little corkscrews, and it's like this wooden tunnel, and you like I swear, we went upside down like at least three times, maybe even four times. And my son, he loved it, man. He like right away he said it was like he loved it. I asked him, like, we record on the story, whatever, because anytime we at Hershey Park, we like to flex. And let me apologize ahead of time, right? So I know people get annoyed with me in the summertime because I love Hershey Park. Hershey, if you in Pennsylvania, that's like our Disney World kind of. And people take it for granted. People from Pennsylvania take Hershey Park for granted, and they think it's not all that, whatever. But I've been a season pass holder for like the last 4 years. And let me tell you, people travel from all over the country to go to Hershey Park. So if y'all need to stop sleeping on Hershey Park, and it's only getting bigger. You know what I mean? The ticket, like one indicator is the ticket price, right? The ticket price is crazy. And like, here's the thing: when people come from all over the country, whatever, they're going multiple days. Like they're going 2-3 times. You know what I mean? Because they feel like they got to experience the whole park, because the park is big enough to where, yeah, it's an attraction. So it's not quite Disney World, but like it's that kind of vibe where people come here. Like they got nice hotels and stuff like that. They got resorts. So like I can imagine like staying at the resort, whatever. You're going to Hershey Park and you're going to do roller coasters one day. You know what I mean? You staying at the resort, you get a nice massage, whatever. They got all the chocolate. The atmosphere smells like chocolate, whatever. And then you go then another day to go to the water park, and then you know what I mean, oh, now we got to go to Chocolate World, and then so it's a lot of, maybe there's a concert, right? Maybe there's a game or something like that, because they got a hockey team, they got soccer team, they got a lot of stuff going on, whatever. So um it's definitely uh it's worth going, and it is a bigger attraction than people that are local than they might want to admit to it being, right? It's a nationally sought out amusement park, you know what I mean, believe it or not, right in Hershey, Pennsylvania, right? So, I'm recording them, whatever. And yeah, so I apologize because I flex. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing I really flex about. I flex about us having the privilege and opportunity to be season pass holders. And it might not be a big deal because it's like anybody could buy a season pass. They actually want you to buy a season pass. You buy a ticket, they telling you you could pay X amount of money, upgrade that joint to a season pass. So it's like they're giving these things out, not so to speak, but just having the opportunity to be able to go multiple times. And that's the only thing I flex about, because my son loves it. And I was talking to his mom, and like she was like, yo, I really love that y'all had that bond, because you're really creating memories for the rest of his life. And it's like, yeah, like when you think about it like that, it's like, damn, he's gonna be talking about this when he's older. Like, yo, we used to go to, like, when I was a kid, man, me and my dad, we used to go to Hershey Park every week in the summertime, and and he's gonna love it, whatever. But I recorded him after we got off of Wildcat's Revenge. And I said, yo, what do you rate it, man? He was like 10 out of 10. So, I do my thing. I tag Hershey Park, and they end up tagging me. They end up tagging me, and they posted on their story. And they even put in the caption, they put 10 out of 10 or whatever, right? So I was happy about that. And that was dope, man. That was dope. But like I said, just not having a lot of time on the weekends to, like, sometimes do this type of stuff. I'm rushing, I'm scrambling, but we gonna get some content out. You know what I mean? Other than that, like I said, I was talking about being old, being sore. Yo, man, I learned today, like, so I had a little brush burn. Ain't nothing crazy, but I learned today, like, why when I used to play Madden, and I'm watching football all these years, why dudes be wearing that turf tape stuff, right? So, you know what I'm saying, I'm on a turf field, you know what I mean, I got asked to play a little bit of two-hand touch. I was with some younger guys, you know what I'm saying. I didn't want to play. I wanted to be all-time Q, right? I was like, yeah, I'll be all-time Q, you know what I'm saying. Let me throw the rock, They like, nah, we need a player. So I'm like, all right, I'll jump in the game, man. So we playing two-hand touch, whatever. And I tag a guy, whatever, or a guy catches it, right? And I go to tag him, and he slips, right? So like just the way it was, the way he slipped, and as I'm kind of like lunging to get him, right? He was gonna take my legs out, or I was gonna land on him, whatever. So I didn't want to do that. So I had to kind of like dive over him. And I'm on the field, so I wasn't worried about it. Wasn't really dressed for the occasion. But like, yeah, like I got up and I wasn't hurt, whatever. But I look and I'm like, my joint was all rash, like it was all bleeding, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's why they wear turf tape. Like that stuff really works. That must work. You know what I mean? Like you just need that like layer of protection, whatever. But like, yeah, that's the first time I ever like really ran on a turf field. It is kind of weird, like as it got all them little like black little tire pieces and stuff like that, and little rubber pellets. I can imagine though, like it's probably fun to play on, but it probably, yeah, like again, like you probably getting a lot of brush burns, a lot of turf burns and stuff like that. So like, if your kids are fortunate to play on a turf field, or anything like that, like make sure they are equipped properly, because that stuff hurts, man. It don't feel too good, man. It ain't the worst pain, but it's still like, yeah, it's just like you sliding on concrete a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, bro, like this is for real. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's that on that, man. Let's get into the show. And got a dope announcement, man. Got a dope announcement. So if I don't know if y'all know, but this is the time of year, usually like a year before it goes down, a year and a half, yeah, like a year and a half before the actual election goes down. This is when they actually start to announce who's running. Like people are putting their hat in the race, right? We seen Trump is running. We know DeSantis is running. So the Republican, that party is going to be pretty heated. I just seen that Mike Pence, he put his hat in the race. You know what I mean? So it's about to be beef with him and Trump, probably. Trump beefing with the boy DeSantis and all that, and they got their own thing going on. Um, on the other side, you got the incumbent, people probably not too thrilled about that. But what I am thrilled about was another person that decided to jump in the race, and it was Dr. Cornel West. I don't know if y'all heard Dr. Cornel West say he's running for president in the 2024 election. And if y'all know Dr. Cornel West, he was a former professor at Harvard, and he definitely focuses on socioeconomics and like the impact that it has on Black and Brown communities. So he definitely knows about just how the world works and things like that, and obviously he offers decent perspective. Politically, if you've ever seen him, he was always critical of like even people like Barack Obama. Like I think there's a misconception that like everybody loved, like all Black people loved Barack when he was in office, but there were actually probably more of the intellectuals, like the casual person probably like, yeah, yo, my president, we had songs about it. My president is Black, you know what I mean? We was hype about it. Like we was just hyped we was hyped to be have a seat at the table, you know what I mean? But there were people that really were holding him to task, like, holding him accountable, even though there's a misconception that like when he was in office, we just like went to sleep. But like, no, people were still pretty woke and doing what they had to do. But I would always hear Cornel West kind of critical of just some of his decisions, like on a humanitarian level, like talking about, just different things that he's doing, foreign policy and things like that. But also a lot of people after the fact, a lot of people have then talked about Obama, and just in the sense of like, what did he really do for Black people? So Cornel West, he's jumping into it, and I don't know exactly what party he's running for. He said the party of the people. So like, I don't know if he's running third party. I don't know if he's running independent. But it is interesting to see that he is running, because it's interesting to see because um running for president costs mad money. Like I don't people don't realize that, like you have to be able to raise mad money to do it. A lot of times people are, there's rich candidates that are using their own wealth. With Cornel West, I don't know what kind of wealth he had, independent wealth he has. I know he probably has done well for himself being a professor, and then just getting, doing all kind of speaking engagements, whatever. But it's interesting because he's not gonna have, I don't think he's gonna have a problem raising money because the hip hop community loves Cornel West. Like he's done a lot of different spoken word engagements, with the likes of like, Andre 3000, Jill Scott, whatever. And people, you hear Jay-Z talking about Cornel West, like and things like that. So like I think one an advantage that he has is that he's gonna captivate the hip hop community, right? And by and large, and we talking about the business people in the hip hop community. I think his funds are gonna be good. I think he's gonna be able to run a race. It's determining if whatever his policies are like, and that's what I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what his policies actually are when it comes to just everything that's going on in the world. And I know he's gonna have a platform that is gonna try. He seems to be very inclusive, but I know I can almost guarantee that he's gonna have certain things in his platform that that's he's gonna have certain things in his platform that specifically addresses things that are going on in the Black and brown community, and that bodes well. That bodes well because a lot of times, what I mean, we feel that um, we have candidates that want us to vote for them just for the sake of voting for them, not necessarily like, but they don't necessarily have anything like in place that's going to benefit our community. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. In a debate, it's going to be hard to, I mean, he's so well versed in so many things. It's going to be kind of hard to kind of like, you can't make him look stupid. Like you ain't gonna be able to make Cornel West look dumb in no debate. So I don't work, like I'm interested to see that, like if he even gets to that level. And but yeah, I just wonder, like, if he can, will he only be a popular candidate amongst Black people? I mean, will he be, I mean, because even if he would get all the Black vote, you talking about 13% of the population, adult population, probably even less than that. So it's interesting to see, but it's refreshing, what I mean, to see like new faces and things like that, and people that want to make change. The only downside, and this is just, that's the way the presidency, like the just the way the process works. Barack Obama was one of the youngest presidents to get in. JFK was one of the younger presidents to get in, but like it just seems like he's 70 years old. So it's like, if we are worried about age, right? And we don't want these old guys in there, like, Biden is old, Trump is old, Cornel West is old, Bernie Sanders was old. So like I think I think, as by and large, I think people want a president that is, I don't know, not, you don't need a young guy, whatever, but somebody like in the middle of like really old and adult, like just adult and really old, like somewhere in the middle there, like not a young adult where like you just like, what, you got to be 30 something to be able to run for president. Um, so I think 35, if not a little bit older. Um, and so we need somebody, yeah, like maybe not somebody that's just at the cusp, but like in their 50s, maybe. Like, can we at least get that? Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. And I'm like I said, I would love to see him in a debate and see if he can like kind of really shine a light on what's going on in our community. So what y'all think about that, man? Y'all excited about Cornel West running? Does that make you want to vote? Are we still jaded to the voting process? Because we can see, man, like, we talk about local elections, we talk about things like that. Voting does matter. It's not the most perfect system in terms of making change, but like it's the people, when the people that want change, it's in your best benefit to do it, whatever. The people that want things to stay the same and status quo, the people that vouch for status quo, especially when it comes to benefiting certain people and things like that, they don't want, that's the thing, they don't want you to vote, they don't want you participating. That's why you have these laws going into effect in certain places that seem to be like trying to diminish the numbers of certain populations, right? That's why you have those things going on. It's because they don't want you a part of the conversation. They want you to fall asleep. They want you to fall asleep to where it's like, nah, we just gonna keep running this country the way we've been running it, right? Like it's fine, it's fine. We don't need no change. And then, then we mad because we like, dang, ain't nothing changing in this country. Like, what the heck? Like, what? Well, it's because you didn't even put your hat in the race. I mean, voting is at the very least, I ain't gonna say it's gonna change everything, but at the very least, you putting your hat in the race. Like, all right, I care enough. It might not be worth nothing, but let me put my hat in the race. Right. And again, we talk about local governments and stuff like that. That's where you're gonna feel the real impact in your everyday life. But when we talk about nationally and how the president, what I mean, like it's a balance of powers with all the branches of government, but the president is that important branch where it's like it's the executive, what I'm saying? It's the administrator, it's the principal of that shit. Like, all right, making sure, all right, you doing this. They helping to appoint the judges. They the ones that are putting the last, co-sign on any bills that's coming from the legislative branch. Like it's important. It's important, man. And we gotta participate though. So um, but what y'all think, man? What y'all think? Y'all excited? Excited for change? What y'all want, man? What y'all want, man? So, all right, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. But leave a comment below on that stuff with politics out there. So, all right, man. So let's talk about some etiquette, man. Let's talk about etiquette. Specifically airplane etiquette. All right. So I don't know if y'all seen, um, and I don't want to disrespect Shorty, and I don't want to downplay her either. I don't want to downplay her, but there's a rapper. Her name, she goes by Chika, and I used to follow her, and I used to see her a lot on Twitter, right? So I like when I look at her as she's a social media rapper, right? So she's gone viral several times on Twitter for just making different, like especially during the pandemic, right? Like she was making all these different freestyles, and it was hot. Like she could spit, like she can rap, you know what I mean? But yeah, Chica, we'll put her picture on the screen, whatever. And the at name wasn't the same. I mean, so but that she goes by Chica, right? Chika, right? Chica. And so I don't know if y'all seen or whatever. So she goes viral for this rant that she had because she was on the airplane and she felt that she was inconvenienced by some crying kids on an airplane. Now, it definitely started a conversation, right, amongst people in terms of like, well, yeah, like how do you operate when you on a plane? Like, I mean, it brought up a lot of questions. Like, should little kids be on flying on these planes? Should you be strategic when you are planning a flight for a plane and things like that? Do people realize sometimes, like when you bring kids into a situation, into a certain environment, how it could be like distracting or inconveniencing other people? Or, what I mean, then on the other side, it's like, should you care about inconveniencing other people? Are you doing what's right? Or, what I mean, things like that. So she went viral because she got awoke from her sleep, and she goes on like a rant where she's apologizing. And so she went viral for the initial rant, talking trash, whatever. And the thing is, and to be fair, she didn't say anything. Like, it wasn't like this blow up viral incident that went, where it's a video where they're arguing or anything like that. She went to Twitter, I mean, and started tweeting about her inconvenient, how she was inconvenienced and how uncomfortable she was and how angry and frustrated she was, right? She didn't say nothing. Like, she felt like she was like, all right, I wasn't rude enough to say nothing, but like I do feel some type of way. However, the person that she came at has a big following, right? And the girl Chica kept saying it was a celebrity baby and this and that, whatever. I kind of looked at the girl's page, and she does have a massive following. I don't exactly know what she does, but she has money enough to fly kids first class, right? But I think she's also related to somebody that is doing some big things, and like, I think they're pretty well off, whatever. So first, let me share on the screen. I'm gonna share on the screen, and we're gonna kind of go back. We're gonna go through some of this ranting and some of this argument, and see where y'all lie on this. But this is gonna give us some background. This video that I'm gonna show y'all gonna give you some background. as to like the rationale of why this parent decided to fly this plane at this particular time, and then ultimately you can decide like, yeah, it ain't shorty business, and she just gonna have to deal with some crying kids, whatever. So and she this one girl, she kind of says her side of it. But let's check this out real quick here. I'll share the screen here. All right, so this is the video right here. All right.
Story time. So my baby and I flew out to LA to be with our family while they were going through their trial. On top of my baby cousin was starring in her very first movie. So I came to help her with her baby and bring my baby too so we could have some fun California girl time. My cousin is really like a superstar. So whatever it is that she needs me to do, oh bitch, I'm flying anywhere to be with her, to help her, okay?
That's real.
So
That's real.
we were having a great ass time. I wore the girls out before our midnight flight. I needed to make sure that they would sleep. I didn't want them to disturb anybody, for real, for real. So they ran like bats out of hell, ate whatever they needed to, and then we headed to the airport. That's my girl. So we always get private escort service. It's just what we do when we fly first class, especially with little babies. Got to start them off early. My aunt and uncle did with us. So, hey, headed to the flight. You see us, you see us. As a mom, this is the moment where a bitch starts getting nervous. It's time. So at this point, I'm a nervous wreck. I done put their headphones on, tried to prepare them, put their movie on, headphones too. I'm like, please, girls, just sleep. Little did I know a little air turbulence will wake her up right out of her sleep. Then this bitch, who was sitting next to me, goes online and talks about my ass because the baby was crying. Boo-hoo, ho. Quick story time. So my
All right,
baby
here
and
we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Seeing that context, and like, cause you thinking, cause the girl, the rapper Chika, she was upset. She was like, damn, why would you put kids on a flight and it's 4 a.m. and this and that, whatever. But as a parent, I could see why you elect to do a late flight, whatever, because the in your head you're thinking, all right, if we leave at midnight, right, my kids have a way better chance of not disturbing anybody, being able to kind of deal with the flight, whatever. And then at the end of the day, they're gonna fall asleep, they're gonna crash out, you know what I mean? And they ain't gonna bother nobody, right? But obviously, what I mean, it don't always work out that way, what I mean, so to speak. But let's get into so what I'm gonna read though is kind of like what some of the backlash has been though. So Chica went on to like she has a bunch of videos, and Shade Room has featured some of those videos. And in those videos, she's basically apologizing, but and she's apologizing for choosing to use Twitter as her outlet. She didn't necessarily apologize for feeling how she felt. And on one hand, I could feel her too. Like if I was flying, I would probably be annoyed. I do, like there's a lot of situations, right, that adults we put kids in certain situations that they don't even need to be in. Like I've been to movie theaters, you know what I mean, and it's a 10 o'clock show, and people bringing their kids to a 10 o'clock show, and then you hear kids crying. It's like, I get it, like you want to still enjoy, being out in the world and things like that, whatever. But it's like sometimes, yeah, you gotta sit it out too. Like you don't get to always participate in stuff. A flight is a little bit different because it's a mode of transportation. You know what I mean? There's only one way to get to far distances in a short amount of time, and that's to fly. And although it is a communal type thing, I think, I mean, I think sometimes you just have to deal with it. Like when you are in a certain setting, you have to deal with the inconveniences of crying kids and things like that. So I can see both sides, but yeah, so she goes on this rant. And so it says, so based on Shade Room, it says, Chika responds to backlash she received over her recent tweets. The rapper explains that she was experiencing a manic episode and just wanted to rest during a long flight. It says, Chika acknowledges that she was mean, but wanted to express her feelings and get everything off her chest. Although she apologized for being harsh in a post shared to Instagram, Chika says that she doesn't feel bad because the response was disproportionate. Um, she said the response was disproportionate to the mistake. Right. So basically, like she don't feel that people should have been killing her the way they were killing her. It was a mistake for her to probably, like, get upset, whatever, but like she don't feel like people should be going in the way they're going in. So yeah, she has a series of videos. I'm trying to, all right, so here it is. So then I'm gonna read this is what I'm gonna read what she says. She says, tonight, this is Chika, and this was some of what she was talking about. She says, tonight has been hectic and fun as hell. Imagine inconveniencing someone and then hopping on the bandwagon like you had nothing to do with their disturbance. I have to laugh. We're in the twilight zone. She says, anyway, this show tomorrow is keeping me from worrying about any of what's going on. Have fun talking to the air. So basically she kind of puts out there that, like, all right, I mean, the girl that was who had these kids on this plane, whatever, she's obviously jumping on, I mean, like, as Chica's getting backlash, this lady's jumping on the bandwagon and kind of like gassing it up, and Chica's like, yo, don't act like you didn't contribute to that, whatever. So let's keep going. And this is her talking to the fans. This is Chika. She says, stay mad. Being upset at a person ranting about an annoying baby that woke them up at 4 a.m. is a cute way to make you feel like you're morally superior to someone. You're literally not. Like I've been saying, I wasn't rude to her, and that's what I'm good with. I have the decency to be mad externally somewhere else. My only mistake was doing it on Twitter. I don't feel bad because the response is disproportionate to the mistake, but like, do your thing, internet. Y'all already ain't like me. This ain't nothing new. All right. So yeah, so it's going in on that, right? So then let's see so then there's a response, right? And I'll probably put this on the screen. I don't want to share the screen, whatever. Like, I want y'all to, see me and this and that, whatever. So this is the girl, her at name, who brought the kids on, and this is the one I just showed you the video of, right? Her at name on Instagram is Beautiful Rose. Again, I see she has a big following. I didn't get to see what she exactly does, right? She says, this is what she says. She says, "You stupid ass bitch." She said, "You stupid ass bitch. That was me you were sitting next to. So let me enlighten you, dumbass. They weren't twin 1 year olds. One was my 4 year old child, and the other crying baby you're referring to was my niece." And she puts the at name of whose baby it was. So her niece, the mom. She puts the mom's name there. And she is 2 years old. You're upset she woke up for 3 minutes crying out her sleep, like like most children. And I did immediately calm her by holding her and talking to her because it was dark as hell. I can't believe you are that insensitive when she woke up once on a 5 hour flight from LA. And second off, it wasn't your seat from the beginning. You switched with someone else and sat your fat ass next to Yo, she's gotta go there. Set your fat ass next to me and let me express the funk that you brought on top of that. Crazy, crazy thing was it was you in my ear saying those girls are so good before she woke up out of her sleep, scared, crying because it was pitch black and her TV had gone off. So she was startled. I appreciate all the things you wish for me, and I can't wait to see your ass again in person. You just mad a woman and two children could afford first class next to a peasant such as yourself. You fake. She said you a fake bitch in person, whatever. And then she said, and if I said you look like a, she said, and if I said you look like a Babadook, I'll be wrong. Let's not, whatever. So, wow. So, and that's an that's another thing that's kind of disrespectful in this whole thing, right? So Chica, I don't want to, like, I'm not about to go in on her appearance or anything like that, but like she is a woman that I would say this, and when it comes to like female rappers and things like that, she's not gonna get the same looks that, like, you got Ice Spice, you got Lotto, you got Megan Thee Stallion, you got Cardi B, you got Ruby Rose, like, what I mean, like you got all these female rappers, right? That look amazing, that are very attractive, whatever. What I mean? Then you got Chika who doesn't fit that mold, so to speak, whatever. So like people are going in on Chika just because she don't look, she might not be as attractive to other people. And like that's weird because that's how people are defending her. They're like, yo, y'all only mad at her because she ugly. And I'm thinking like, damn, bro, like that, like why are we going there? Why are we going there? But like this girl talking about how she was funky and this and that, whatever. But I guess what I want to know is after all that, I guess I want to know what is the airplane etiquette like when it comes to bringing your kids, because we've had I mean we've seen viral videos of people getting mad at crying and screaming kids on planes. Is this something that you just had to deal with? Is it just something that you just as a part of society is something that you just got to deal with, or are the parents out of pocket for putting their kids in certain situations? Now, like I said, based on that context, this woman like seemed to have thought this out, right? And she says, you know what, we're gonna take the midnight flight because again, and I can empathize with this. It's like, no, we have a better chance of my kids sleeping at night, these kids sleeping at night, than if it was broad daylight, right? And then they just asking people questions, they crying, they restless, they're like, I'm bored. Like 5 hours is a long time to be on a flight for a little kid. 5 hour drive, 5 hours sedentary for a kid is hard, you know what I mean? So why wouldn't you plan the trip to where they're most likely to sleep? Like I can understand that. And so like, yeah, like, what happens is this. It's like you're allowed to say whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? You're allowed to tweet and get angry and things like that. When you have a certain profile, though, when you have a higher profile, you know what I mean? And you did it in a way where people could figure it out. Like, and that's the thing. That's what I want to know. I want to know how did people put two and two together that it was, that Chika was talking about this particular woman's kid, and this and that. Like, I don't know if the girl already followed Chika or whatever, but like, when you do have a higher profile, you got to be careful to what you're saying. People probably can relate. She talked about in the video, she talked about like not sleeping for 2 days and just wanting some rest and things like that. Which I mean, that I don't know if anybody is the reactions and how people felt are not necessarily wrong, but it's like the bigger conversation is just like I guess like the social etiquette of it all. Like how are when you are traveling with kids, what's the best way to do it to minimize conflict with fellow passengers? So what do y'all think, man? Who is in the wrong? Who's right? Who's wilding? Who's not? Like what y'all think about that? But like, yeah, leave a comment below, man. Let me know what y'all think about this airplane situation and these crying ass kids, man. Like how y'all feel about that, man. So but yeah, let's move on, man. Let's move on to the next thing. And I wanted to give a little review, man, a little review on one of my favorite shows. And this is one of them shows where I normally try to like, keep up and like, I like doing recaps, like episode by episode recaps. Like if I can get that off. Oh shit. If we can get that off, yeah, if we're able to get that off, I like to be able to give episode by episode recaps on certain shows. And but like, this one, just kind of watching it, and trying to, not everybody's watching it at the same time and things like that. But the show is Dave, right? So Dave experienced the finale, the season 3 finale. And let me just tell you, man, it's like this finale was one of the best 45 minutes of comedy that I probably seen so far this year. Like there's been some good, I've seen some good shows. I mean, the one Beef was a really good show, but just single episode stellar finale, right? So when you think about Dave, though, if you've never seen it, and if you're familiar with the rapper Lil Dicky, he kind of has like, he gives off like this parody vibes. You know what I mean? Like it's all fun, and he's making jokes about himself, and I mean, even his name itself, Lil Dicky, is a joke on himself, whatever, right? So, but the way I would describe it to anybody, if you've never seen Dave, it's like, so if you ever seen Atlanta, so they have the absurdity of Atlanta, like just that weird, sometimes the weird absurdity of things mixed with Kirby Enthusiasm. So like Kirby Enthusiasm, right? It's you're kind of in like a fictional real life of a real person. So Kirby Enthusiasm is about Larry David, and it's a fictionalized version of his life. So like most of the people that he's talking to, like it's on a first name basis, right? Like if he's on the show with a celebrity, most of the time the celebrity is going by their real name. They're not acting, so to speak. They're just being a person, right? Now there are times where there are actors that are playing like roles. Like there was a couple seasons, Vivica A. Fox was like his girlfriend, and she was not Vivica A. Fox. She was like his girlfriend or whatever her name was, right? But anyway, I would say like Dave is like if Atlanta and Curb Your Enthusiasm had a baby, you got Dave, right? So yo, this finale was and just real quick recap of the season was all about him trying to search for love, right? So because that's what his tour is called, like the Search for Love tour or something like that, whatever. So he's going through city by city. There was a point where he had to like it was weird. It was like his RV had got into a accident or broke down, and then it blew up, and then people assumed that he died because they saw this tour bus, this RV, this tour bus was on fire on the side of the road, and they didn't tell people that nothing happened to him. So people assumed that he was dead, like RIP, whatever. They was on some RIP stuff. So like that was controversial in the season, but the whole time though he is trying to look for love and he's trying to find a relationship. So he does end up finding this one girl. He has a falling out with this girl. And then he has this crush on Rachel McAdams. And he kind of is like trying to date Rachel McAdams. You know what I mean? If y'all know her, she's a real famous actress and stuff like that. But the finale, right? The finale was crazy because so he gets to shoot this video. He made this song called Rachel McAdams, right? He shoots a video with Rachel McAdams, and she calls in a favor. Oh yeah, this episode was crazy. So she calls in a favor, and Brad Pitt is like his favorite actor. So she gets Brad Pitt to act in Little Dicky's video, whatever. So then it's just this whole surreal moment where he's meeting up with Brad Pitt and this and that, whatever. And Brad Pitt is like talking about like he wants to rap, he wants to get into music. So he's like, yeah, you can come over, whatever, right? Well, lo and behold, when Dave gets home, he gets this person that was on set with him. This like she's like a personal assistant, I guess, whatever. A PA, is that a production assistant? I think that stands for in movies. So or video production. So she's in she somehow tracks him down, right? And she says that she has something of his, right? Well, she comes in and she gives him something. She says she wants to use the bathroom. Brad Pitt then comes over. Well, we find out that this lady is a stalker, right? And she holds this lady is literally holding Brad Pitt and Lil Dicky by gunpoint, like, and got Brad Pitt shook. Yeah, I mean, like got both of them shook, whatever. And Brad, but it's crazy because when Lil Dicky's telling Brad about it, he's like, "Yo, fam, like I don't know what to do. This girl thinks that she's like, like we're the same person, like I'm like her soulmate, so to speak." And he's like, "Yo, bro, you got to stalk her. You got to stalk her." And they're trying, and it's just funny, like them trying to kind of get out of this, whatever. But like just the fact that like Brad, like, and it's Brad Pitt playing Brad Pitt, like just imagining him in this situation where he's with this rapper. The rapper accidentally has it, like at the same time that Brad Pitt decides to come over, right? This guy is going through a stalker situation and trying to avoid this stalker and trying to get out of this, whatever. So it's just absurd in that realm, right? Shorty shoots Brad Pitt with a crossbow, right? So Brad Pitt is like dying, you know what I mean? Like for a little while. It was nuts. Like it was crazy, but it was so funny. And like I said, just the once she pulled out the gun, I was like, yo, this is Atlanta right here. Like this is something that would happen on an episode of Atlanta where like you don't get to see that. Like we know that famous people deal with stalkers, but a lot of times we feel like, oh, they got bodyguards, they got people in place to help them do this and that, like to kind of maneuver that. But it's like, no, like sometimes what about the situation where they don't have anybody with them? What if they think shit is sweet? What if they think that the people that they are meeting on set that are like, just kind of working, what if these people really want to get them out of here, or really want to, like, stalk them and things like that. So it's like just imagining being a celebrity and like not being able to trust nobody. Like not you really like who do you trust out there? Like you can't trust the people that you're working with either. You know what I mean, because these people are starstruck and crazy, whatever. But just being they were essentially held hostage. This shorty held them hostage for hours. Um, luckily, Gator came through. And if Gator wouldn't have came through and realized what was going on, and like, kind of helping aid the situation, it would have got ugly, whatever. But like some of the stuff that just happens in those scenes when she's holding them gunpoint and like how she's react, it was bananas, whatever. It was bananas. And then it was just a great ending to the episode because Lil Dicky talks about loving Drake, like, and how much he wants to have a feature with Drake, whatever. And lo and behold, right before the episode ends, we see that he's about to shoot this video with Drake, whatever. And Drake is like, it's just funny because he's so like, I wonder if he's really like this, whatever, but he was just so down to earth. You know what I mean? He was like, nah, I really rock with you, or whatever. Lil Dicky gives him the biggest hug and he's just holding him. He's like, yo, man, I've been waiting my whole life for this. I've been waiting my whole life for this. And it's funny because I don't even like I gotta check now. Like, is there a Lil Dicky and Drake song? Because they recorded something, and in the post credits, they're playing something where he's like, I got Drake on the track, I got Drake on the track, or something like that. Like, and it's just hilarious, whatever. But like, Dave is a show that like I don't want to end. Like I don't I like I wish that was a longer, I wish they had longer seasons of Dave. But like, like that needs to come back. Like then, like I need a season 4, I need a season 5. And because what they're doing, like I said, like Atlanta kind of leans on the absurdity aspect, and they're touching, Atlanta did a great job of just touching on certain social topics. This one, you just get a little bit more artists in action. Like you get a little bit more like a play by play, and like his journey. You get to see Dave's journey, so to speak, more so than you don't really see Paperboy's journey. You just see Paperboy in different moments, right? Like in his career, but you don't get to see his true journey with Dave, man. Like you seeing him go through everything, the ups and downs, and just trying to figure it out. And like, obviously it's not a struggle, but like just the challenges of trying to be a white rapper, relevant in hip hop and things like that. So what do y'all think, man? Did y'all see the episode? Did y'all see the season finale of Dave? Did y'all see season 3 of Dave? Have y'all watched Dave? Yeah, if you haven't watched Dave, y'all sleeping, man. You need to watch it. One of the funniest shows out there for everybody. Everybody will find it funny. It don't matter who you are, black, white. If you into rap, if you're not into rap, you're gonna find that show hilarious. It is top. The writing of that show is top notch. It's top notch, and I recommend it to every single person that I ever meet. So, and that's that, man. So, what y'all think about that? Leave a comment, man. Leave a comment if you've seen Dave. And the last thing. We're gonna talk a little bit about the NBA Finals. Yeah, so at the time of this recording, games 1 and 2 have been played. And as y'all saw last week, I predicted that the Nuggets will win in 5 games. Now the series at this point of this recording, the series is tied. And when this episode comes out, game 3 is either already is gonna be played or it has already been played. So it depends on when this comes out, whatever. But game 1, right? So I do have them in 5. The series is tied, so Denver has an uphill battle in terms of winning and beating them 3 straight times. However, game one, they were dominant, man. Like you could see, and that was my first full game. And I said that I'm eating my words, right? Like I said that last week. Like I was wrong about Jokic, and it's because I seen him play against the Lakers like a little bit, and I'm like, yo, like he's really nice, like he's really good. Like I've seen all type of highlights and stuff like that, and I'm like, no, he's really good. Like maybe he is really that boy, right? You know what I mean, but like I saw like game 1 of the finals. That's probably the first time I seen a full 48 minutes of Nikola Jokic, right? Yo, this dude is a problem, yo. He's nice as hell, bro. Like I never seen nobody like he's kind of unstoppable. Like he's kind of unstoppable, like really low key, like because he's bigger than he's one of the biggest big men out there, like, and he's strong, like, so he's a force, like, so he does all the big man stuff like that you want, like he could back you down, he could post up, right, he can rebound pretty easily, whatever. um the impressive part is his ability to pass. Like, he really is a great passer. Being so high, just being so tall, right? He can see over the defense, and he's hitting guys when you don't expect it. He draws double teams. He draws the defense to him, so it naturally leaves people open because if you leave him open, right, he's gonna either lay it up real easy, and he don't dunk, right. So the way he plays, I think he's gonna be able to play for a long time because he ain't trying to jam on everybody like Shaq or Dwight Howard. So like those guys, all that wear and tear on your knees and your legs and your back and stuff like that, like it'll take its toll. It's crazy because Jokic is like a below the rim player. Like, he ain't jamming nothing. He's laying it up. He's right there. He's like, well, I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it in the basket. He can shoot. He can shoot 3-pointers, right? He can hit mid-range shots. He can hit off-balance shots, whatever. And what's crazy is that they literally be having him bring the ball up. Like, he ain't fast, whatever, but he brings the ball up, and he just has so much control. Like, now I noticed that guys get a little bit, when you have taller guys and you have smaller defenders, they can rip and poke at the ball, whatever, and kind of fluster him a little bit. But like he really be handling the ball, really be bringing it up, and like it's just like that ball is probably like a pebble to him, bro. Like, he just be palming it, just like little quick passes. He can, since he's so big and strong, he always makes the best skip pass. Like, he'll drive and he'll turn around and he'll like just hit a guy wide open in the corner three or at the wing or something like that, and like just setting them up, whatever. So that's first and foremost. Jokic is a problem. Like, I just wanted to give him his praises, and I believe the hype now. Like, I could see why he won them MVPs in the last couple of years, right? So then getting into game one, right? Denver was pretty dominant the whole way through. Now, I think they took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and it gave the Heat some hope, right? Um, However, though, they had control. Like, the Denver Nuggets had control. They were shooting. Miami was not hitting open. They were not hitting their open shots. They weren't getting a lot of scoring from guys that they needed scoring from, whatever, right? However, that fourth quarter of game one was key to them winning. It was key to the Heat winning game two. And the way Jokic, I mean, he speaks in an interview and he's telling like, yo, we basically saying like we got to play four quarters, right? And that's the thing, right? Given if they would have just done them away, like, and beat them by, because they had like a 23-point lead, 23-point lead, going into the fourth quarter in game one. If they would have kept their foot on the gas, if they would have beat them by 30 points, I think you see game two would have been, it might have been closer, but it would have been the same result, whatever. So game two, um, Miami started hitting those shots, right? It started hitting those shots, and then you're seeing that Denver is not. I mean, they can play some decent defense, but they are giving the Heat way too many chances, way too many open shots, right? And they need to start respecting the Heat a little bit more. Like, they don't need to be afraid of the Heat, but they need to respect them because the Heat is not. They're not going to give up. They're going to buy in on defense. My man Quell was talking about just that buy-in. Like, they all buy into defense. They all play pretty. They all play tough. They play as a unit when it comes to defense, right? And they got under Denver's skin, whatever. So in the fourth, so this is the second straight game that Denver had a bad fourth quarter. They're not going to win the series if they don't play four quarters, right? And here's the thing: play four quarters, you might even be able to take off the first quarter. Like, you can't create a hole for yourself, whatever. But you could play mediocre, whatever. But you got to show up in the fourth quarter, right? So game two, they lost their lead. They had a fourth quarter lead. They lost it. They were up probably by like 15 points, and they were letting Miami's toughness get to them, right? They were giving up way too many wide open shots to Miami, and they just did too much complaining to the refs, and like then they started committing bad fouls. You know what I mean? KCP, he fouled a 3-point shooter 2 different times, right, in that game, right? It might have both happened in the fourth quarter, but like I might be getting that confused because it might have been a little bit early in the game. But he definitely had a foul in the fourth quarter on a 3-point shot that was not going in, bro. It was not going. This dude shooting from Curry range, the regular ass dude. It's like, bro, you don't have to foul that. You like, we want you to contest. Like, you should contest, but don't foul. Don't foul the jump shooter or whatever. So they fucked up there. And it's crazy because Denver has the ability to come back on you. Like, so Denver, like, they were down by like, nine, like they were down by like almost 12 points, 9 points, you know what I mean? And it's like a minute 45, and like, yo, Denver gets it down to 3 points, or whatever. And to the point where they had a chance to tie it up. I thought they, with like 12 seconds left, I thought they should have called a timeout. Mark Jackson and them, they thought it was they didn't think it was a bad idea not to call the timeout, but I feel like you could at least set yourself up for a high percentage shot, whatever. Like, they tried to do the 2-man game. And then, Murray, it actually was a good look. Like, what I mean, it almost went in, but it's like, no, man, y'all gotta play all 4 quarters. You can't leave a team hanging around. Like, in any sport, if you're the better team talent wise, you need to put those other people away. Like Miami, they need help from everybody. They need like, 5 or 6 guys to play really well, like for them to win games. The Nuggets, they don't necessarily need everybody to play well, but I think they need more scoring from Michael Porter Jr. Like his shot, like he's getting open looks, and he's not hitting a lot of his 3-pointers or whatever. Um they need to get Aaron Gordon a little bit busier. Just out there, like, I mean, they need to get him cutting to the basket and things like that. Jokic has to be a little bit more of a passer. Like, he had 41 points, but he only had 4 assists. So he was getting his. I think Jokic is going to get his every game in the series. It's just whether or not his teammates, if they can hit shots. Murray, he had either 18 or 21 points, like depending on if, like, when he shot that three, or it made some of them threes late in the stretch. But he didn't particularly have a great game. So Jamal Murray got to step it up a little bit. Michael Porter needs to hit his shots. KCP needs to, stop committing dumb fouls, and they need to definitely, start the offense with Jokic, and then give it to everybody, man. And don't be afraid of the Heat's toughness. I mean, they're playing so tough because they don't have the talent. They have to do that. They gotta be tenacious. They gotta be scrappy, right? And you got to be able to kind of fight fire with fire a little bit. So yeah, man, it's going to Miami now. And so, the Nuggets were undefeated at home. That's no longer the case. And we got to see, man. We got to see if they bounce back, man. I think they can. And I would love to see, seeing Jimmy win the finals. That'd be cool. That's dope. I mean, he has a great story, but I want to see the Nuggets, man. I want to see new blood. I want to see a team that's never won the NBA final. I want to see them win it, and I want to see where they can go with it. You know what I mean? Because it's just tough, man. When you get to this level, when you get that late into a season, and you have a team that's so good, you just want to see that team rise to the occasion and win, because it's like, you know that, these teams don't have these long windows. They don't have these big windows of time to win these games. So, like, they got to win now. So I would like to see that. But what y'all think about the NBA Finals so far? Yeah, I mean, am I wilding? Can the Nuggets still win in 5 games? I don't know. Do you have, since the Heat won, has the momentum shifted all the way? I think the way that game ended, though, I think the Heat were glad that they got out of that alive, because they had control in the fourth quarter, but just like that, Denver can come back. And I think Denver needs to assert that dominance on them. They need to assert their dominance on the Heat, and see where it goes. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all, man. What y'all think about this week's episode, man? Again, another solo episode. Hope y'all don't mind. I got clips. I got mad clips I still need to push out. I got stuff that I need to push out from my last episode. Talking about sneakers, talking about Brandon, talking about Tina Turner. Like, we got a bunch of stuff, man. That was a dope episode. check out, yo, if you haven't, if you want to know a little bit more about me, not podcasts. Well, you're gonna hear about podcast me, but like you want to hear about like how I started this podcast and like where I want to take it and just my dreams and my hopes and stuff like that. Tune into the JMC podcast. The JMC podcast. It is the Journeyman Chronicles podcast with Felix Arroyo. And I'm on there this week. The episode came out on Monday. And yo, it's a like this is a sidebar, but like, yo, a lot of people, it's funny. It's a lot of people always say that they don't like their voice when they record it. And I love my voice. Like I love it. Like and it's because I found my voice. You know what I mean? Like when you find your voice, you don't hate it as much, right? And I've been doing, I have so many hours of doing this type of stuff that I'm used to it. Like I ain't nothing about my voice that I don't like, whatever. But like when I see myself on screen, especially on other platforms, I'm just impressed, man. I just never thought. And again, when we still working, man, we working, and we ain't got nothing yet. You know what I mean? In terms of bigger picture, we ain't got nothing yet. I mean, but I appreciate everybody that's been rocking with me, man, as long as y'all been rocking with me. But like when I see myself on the screen and I'm talking about what I love to do and this and that, like I'm impressed by myself because I know where I started from. You know, I ain't never been some shy person or nothing like that, whatever. But like I never would have thought that I would be in a position that I'm giving advice and giving tips on how to make content and things like that, and podcasting and people kind of feeding off of things I'm doing, because I'm feeding off of things that other people that are better than me that they're doing. And it's just that ability to learn and just to watch something blossom and grow and to deal with the ebbs and flows, like, because everything ain't been great. You know, everything has not been great with the podcast and you know, but we getting through it, man. We getting through it, and y'all getting through it with me. You know what I mean? Y'all getting through it with me, and I appreciate y'all, man. So if you've been watching the podcast, again, check me out on JMC podcast. But forever, you know, however long y'all been watching, hopefully y'all been watching the whole episode. If you don't watch the whole episode, make sure you click the timestamps. They are clickable. You can skip to any section of the episode you like. But yeah, man, we got a guest coming up. Hopefully, we had a couple of reschedules. This is a woman, dope woman. I'm looking forward to talking to her. Then we got another female guest the week after that. So yeah, I got to get in my bag now. You know, summertime is starting. I got to get on my scheduling bag, and we about to start racking up some episodes and content and things like that. And I appreciate y'all, man. And again, leave a comment, like the video, share the video. But yeah, this is episode 112 of the 280 Plus podcast, y'all. 112. Oh my god, 112. I didn't even think about that's my. Oh man, I should have did like 112 appreciation for this, like, because that's my favorite music group. Like, I love 112, but maybe we'll get into that another time. But yo, this is another episode of 280 Plus podcast, y'all. I'm out. Peace.